Welcome to another edition of the Rapid Reaction. Whoa, mighty Joe. We all predicted this was going to happen, right? We all saw it coming. Texas Tech upsets number 21, Oklahoma State, 45-35 right here at the Jones earlier today. What a performance by the Red Raiders. And, like I kind of teased, nobody saw this coming. I mean, and really the Red Raiders beat them worse than what the final score indicated. I mean, Oklahoma State was able to score some points, got an onside kick there at the end, but and Tech left some points on the field there in the first half. But the Red Raiders, I mean, hats off to the coaching staff, hats off to the players for coming back from that terrible performance in Norman with this terrific performance here today. Joe, what are your opening thoughts?
Yeah, didn't bear any resemblance to that team and that played out there in Norman. And I think a big part of it was just simply the aggressiveness of the team today compared to against Oklahoma. Yes. Against Oklahoma, they were timid. The play calling was timid for the most part. Yes. The players weren't bringing the fight, and today it was just the opposite. Texas Tech Yost was calling an aggressive game today. I mean, slinging the ball down the field with Jet, who played the game of his Texas Tech career, no question about it.
Just want to throw the stats in there because they're noteworthy. Jet was 26 for 44 for 424 yards and 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. He also ran for a 16-yard score to get the Red Raiders on the board in the first quarter.
Right. And he had one drop pass that would have added about another 60 or 65 yards for a touchdown. So, so you had that. And then defensively, you were very aggressive too. I mean, right from the get-go, and that set the tone for the team. The pass rush, I mean, these guys were not like trying to just kind of like, keep everything in front of everybody. They were coming after Spencer Sanders. And, of course, that's always a dangerous sort of a thing with that kind of a runner, an elusive player, a fast guy. But he just didn't have anywhere to go. I mean, they were executing that aggressive defensive game plan up front to a T. And, they basically just shut down Oklahoma State for almost the entire half until that final drive of the first half. And that allowed the offense some time to get into rhythm and to get some traction, get some points on the board. And that was key because, if the defense had been letting down to begin with, Tech would have been in a major dogfight right from the get-go. That allowed Tech to jump up and get a little bit of a lead. And then they held on to it the entire way.
And then, I mean, you mentioned the defense. There's some guys up front. Broderick Washington was outstanding. I think Nelson Mbanasor had his best day as a Red Raider. He was terrific. Tony Bradford, the true freshman, came in there from the get. They started off with a 4-man front. They took a DB off and really set the tone, got some pressure. I think Coach Wells said that. You actually asked Coach Wells about being aggressive, and like he said, it did set the tone for the entire game, not just for the defense, but for just the game for both teams. The way the defensive line, the defensive front got after Spencer Sanders. And Chuba Hubbard, I mean, he averaged under 5 yards a carry. He had a lot of carries, but terrific game from the defense. I have to point out, man, I mean, Douglas Coleman, 2 interceptions, 7 tackles, great job. Jordan Brooks, what a beast stud. I've been a fan of his. You make fun of me for almost fanboying him just because I really enjoy watching linebackers who could run, get sideline to sideline like Jordan Brooks can. He's way gone beyond my expectations for him this year. He had an amazing, I want to make sure 19 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and another quarterback hurry. What a stud. And what's not even on this stat sheet is Oklahoma State got that 2-point conversion. They scored. It was a 10-point game. If they get the 2-point conversion, the ensuing 2-point conversion, then it's a 1-possession game, man, in the fourth quarter with, 4 or 5 minutes left. It's dangerous time. Everyone starts getting really nervous. Mano a mano, Spencer Sanders going in for the 2-point conversion. Jordan Brooks tackles him, slings him to the ground, keeps him out of the end zone. Tremendous performance from the senior linebacker. And I asked Doug Coleman about what Jordan brings to the team and just his performance today, and he said he expects that because basically he's a stud every day in practice, every game, and that it may be new to all of us, but it's not new to players on the team. What do you think about his performance?
Yeah, I mean, just 2 names to throw out there, Zach Thomas and Gabe Rivera.
Whoa!
That's
really, you're putting him in that?
No, not overall as a player yet. I'm saying that as a player today, he was dominant. Yeah. Today, the way those players were dominant on occasion as well. Yeah. He looked like one of those. He looked like an All-American again. And,
he did.
I think I said he looked like an All-American after, I believe it was the Montana State game, or it may have been UTEP, one of those two. He was really, really good in that one too, and he comes back with another performance like that. So he's having quite a year. Needless to say, if he can bottle this and just uncork it again and again for the remainder of the year, he's an All-American. He's a first-team All-American. So absolutely tremendous today.
I actually saw a tweet before this game earlier this week that he's one of the fastest rising guys amongst NFL GMs and scouts, because he's a guy that wasn't really on the radar, and now he's on pretty much everyone's radar. So he's going to be drafted. I think at this point right now, he's middle round. If he keeps up and he has a good combine and goes through all that, who knows where he might be the highest drafted guy, I guess, since Pat, but the highest drafted defensive guy since, honestly, I can remember. I don't even remember the last highly rated defensive guy. So great, tremendous performance from Jordan. One other thing I want to mention about flipping over back to the offensive side of the ball, about Jet's performance that I really liked. Yeah, 4 touchdown passes and no turnovers, but he threw 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. Let's see here. Let's see if we can count them all down. Vasher got one. Rigdon got one. Keyshawn Carter got one on a beautiful, that was a corner route earlier in the game. What was the other one, Joe?
Let's see here. We should have that.
Eric Ezukamba. How could I forget? Easy E, 56-yard bomb. Like you said, I loved how aggressive this team was overall. I think that is the main takeaway. They weren't timid. They didn't look intimidated. They attacked Oklahoma State. They had the Cowboys on their heels all day long. And I do want to point out, after losing 9 straight to the Cowboys from 2009 to 2017, now the Red Raiders have won 2 in a row, and they're up 24 and 22 and 3 overall in the series and over the history between the two teams. So, congratulations for the Red Raiders for winning a couple in a row after losing so many in a row to the Cowboys.
Yeah, they dominated these last 2 games as well. I mean, they, like you said, this score today was closer than the actual game on the field, right, in terms of Tech's dominance. And then, of course, Tech blew them out last year in Stillwater. So Tech's got scoreboard on these guys, and that should help on the recruiting trail.
All right, up next for the Red Raiders, they take on the Baylor Bears, 3 p.m. in Waco. First time they've played Baylor in Waco since, I believe, 2007. I know it's been over a decade, so long time there. It'll be interesting to see how they play on the road. They've shown they can play at home. They're 0-2 on the road. Let's see if the Red Raiders could bounce back and get that first elusive road win. It'd be huge over Baylor, one of the big, of course, in-state conference rivals. Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.